Unfortunately, many drivers are still falling for this scam as the scam always evolves and changes and can create a lot of confusion when it comes to drivers. So that's what we're talking about right now. Hey everyone, Chris here from Real Rideshare Stories. If you're new to the channel and you're looking for different things within the rideshare industry, whether it's updates to what's going on, news, tips and tricks for passengers and drivers, or what actually happens on real rideshare rides, start now by hitting that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Also make sure to check the description below for other helpful information and tips and other ways you can save and make money. So yes, there's a scam out there that affects all gig apps, and unfortunately, drivers, delivery drivers, and shoppers for these different apps still fall for it. But the problem is, many of the new drivers, many of the new delivery drivers and shoppers don't even know it's a scam necessarily until it's too late. And also with the ongoing and evolving scripts that they always come up with and different ideas and thoughts behind things, it can make this scam seem even more legit than what it used to be as people are trying to take your money. If you don't know what this scam is, it is essentially a text or phone call scam saying that they are from that company's support. So because mostly this is rideshare, we'll talk about Uber or Lyft, but it could be Instacart, it could be Amazon Flex, it could be DoorDash, Postmates, Grubhub, any different platform out there, and they'll say that they are support from that company. But usually it'll start with a text message or a phone call coming from the other end and saying that they are support. So it could come like Uber support or Lyft support, and then they're going to give you some sort of issue with that particular order, or saying it's an auto-generated ride or auto-generated shopping order or delivery or whatever it might be. And then they're going to try to tell you either you've won a gift card, you've won something else, a gas card, you've been an all-star driver, or there could be some things where they're trying to fish for information or add a credit card or payment information so then they can steal all of your money. And this is something that's been going on for as long as these companies have been around, but unfortunately people are still falling for it, especially new drivers, new delivery drivers, and new shoppers who don't know and are new to the gig arena. But there's also some new scripts out there, and that's what we're going to be talking about as well, so you can protect yourself when you're back out on the road and you keep your money where it belongs, and that is in your wallet. So just to show you an example of what a scam looks like when it comes down to it without the new script, just something in general. This right here that pops up on the screen is exactly that. And it says, so this morning at approximately 5:39 a.m., I got a ping to a pickup 3 minutes away at the Marriott on Wolf Road. Before I got there, I was messaged to call the passenger as soon as I got there because the app wasn't working correctly. I called the number through the Uber app, got nothing, so I called the number they gave me, no answer. All of a sudden, my phone rings, and it's someone saying it's Uber support, and the pickup I was using a stolen car, and to cancel the ride and drive away, so I did. And so that's pretty much what ends up happening. There's a lot of different scripts. This is one of them. But then he says, I have sent you a message. I'm going to stay on the phone till you respond to the message. I open up the message and they want the credit card number, CVV number, and the expiration date on the card. And this person was smart enough to say, I'm not giving you that info, so they never ended up doing that. But they'll try sometimes to get you by saying if you don't, your account could be placed on hold, like this one was for 7 days, or it could be just in general or deactivation, just to try to scare you and things like that. But it's really a scam, and they're not going to be able to do that. So this person called support, and you should call support for whatever company and platform you are on at the time and report exactly what had just happened. If you have any audio or dash cam footage of that, that will also be good just to back things up. And if you do fall victim to this, unfortunately, make sure you have that footage that you can hand over to the police so they can do what they need to do as well. So yes, this is a scam. And then going on to another one right here, as you can see, this is where they're trying to pick somebody up and they get a text message from what appears to be Lyft, and it's saying, Adam, contact Lyft support. And the person responded with a few things that I'm not going to put on here. But yeah, it's like I said, something that is happening all over the place. So as you can see, this is just a posing as support, trying to confuse and make it seem like they are truly support. And in fact, they're just trying to get your information. But on to the next, which is the evolving, and this is dealing with COVID and some of the coronavirus that's going on. So if you see right here, it says, I had a fake ride take me to a hotel for pickup. When I called, it was a scammer posing as a Uber employee. They're doing a COVID-19 safety check, wanting to verify all the info and change password to steal my money. Notified Uber to send out a mass text to prevent anybody from getting taken. But unfortunately, Uber really hasn't done too much in terms of letting people know, especially new drivers. Now, this is one thing is they're not going to call you. They're not going to text you randomly and say, this was an auto-generated ride. This was an auto-generated person. They're using a stolen credit card or whatever it might be. They're not going to give you free gas money. They're not going to give you anything extra. They're not going to give you a bonus unless it's actually directly in the app itself. So the best thing to do in this case, if you ever get something that is auto-generated or they're saying they're from support or whatever it might be, is hang up the phone and call the real support for whatever app you might be working at the time and report the incident to exactly what's going on. Now, if you want to have a little bit of fun with these people, you could keep them on the line and don't give them any information, but just mess with them a little bit. So then at least that way they're not trying to scam somebody else. But again, right after you have a little bit of fun, I would highly suggest calling the app for whatever and reporting that incident so they can actually take care of that. Now, I've made quite a few different videos on this exact scam with the phone or the text message scam where they're fake support or they're trying to say that it was some issue or auto-generated ride or whatever it might be. I try to do as many videos so people stay up to date, people know what's going on, because the evolution of these scripts can actually sound more and more legit as they are working the script to try to scam people. And it only takes a couple of people to be able to actually get quite a few dollars out of this whole thing. So this is something where, again, I want to make sure you guys keep your money in your pocket because you've worked hard and had to deal with a lot of crap when it came to getting that money. And also, some of these scams are very in-depth where they're getting multiple people just to try to verify with you that it is legit when in fact it really is a scam and they're all in on it and they're trying to take your money. So if you want to see a video of this where there was two people involved in this particular auto-generated or auto-issue scam when it came to support calling out, there was a video that was posted a couple weeks ago on No Limitation Rideshare's channel, and it was him working Postmates, and somebody called up and said this is Postmates support and there's a problem with the order and you're going to have to cancel it. And it was just this weird interaction. So he said that he was going to call the customer and make sure and see what was kind of going on. So he calls her and she was in on it. And you could see just some of the depths that they may go to make it just as confusing and crazy, to make it seem like it is actually legit and backed up by multiple people, even though they are just trying to get your money and they're in on it. So again, that's No Limitation Rideshare, and a link will be in the description below to go check out that video and see exactly what happens on the phone. And then lastly, you might be asking yourself, well, what are these companies actually doing to either prevent or let people know that this scam is happening and it's something that you need to watch out for? Well, unfortunately, they're not really doing that much. Lyft is the only one that I've actually seen besides, I think, one of the food delivery apps, and I can't remember if it was Postmates, Grubhub or DoorDash. I can't remember which. But they actually sent out emails to everybody notifying of this particular scam. And so they are doing very little about it. But Lyft sent out this email very recently. So I just want to show you, because again, this is coming from the company itself, to see exactly what they are really or really not doing about it. So as you can see, it says your personal and financial security. At Lyft, we care about protecting your information, Lyft account, and earnings. Recently in your area, there has been reports of SMS phishing, text message phishing. Drivers have reported receiving text messages from people posing as Lyft, hoping to trick drivers into revealing their phone number, their verification code, and or driver's license number to gain access to their accounts. Now, this is one particular scam too that they're trying to get so they can get into the accounts and change everything. Sometimes they're asking for credit card information, sometimes they're asking for other things. It just depends on what information they're actually trying to get from you. So this access gives attackers the ability to take actions such as stealing drivers' earnings. So some tips that they say when you're driving for Lyft, and some things you can stay for secure. Anytime Lyft texts you, the text will come from that number. That is Lyft's official text number. So if you want to put that in your phone and put Lyft support or like real Lyft support or something like that, you can do that right there, because again, it's only going to come from that number. Lyft support will not contact you and ask you to call back at a specific number. They won't do it. Support will only instruct you to call back via a click-to-call link found in Lyft's Help Center. So again, they're not going to give that number out. They're going to tell you a process on how to call back. And then it says if a passenger initiates a text with you, it will always begin with heads up from Lyft. Your passenger blank is sending you a message. Please pull over to call or text them back safely. Passengers will never need your account information. And again, that is what they do. Unfortunately, Uber doesn't really do much of anything there. Sometimes when they call too, it might say this is your passenger or don't give out any information, but not every phone call does for some reason. I don't know why that is. Then it says how to protect yourself. Trust your instinct. If you suspect an attempt by an attacker, please do not engage. Did you receive the same text message multiple times? This is a common fraudster tactic used in attempt to get you to act quickly. So it's going to say something where it might come in and then 2 minutes later, it's the same message that's going to come in again. So if that happens to you, again, contact Lyft support immediately or whatever app you are accessing at the time. If you suspect any fraud on your account or suspicious phone calls, emails, or text messages asking you to take action on your account, check out Lyft.com for more info on the account protection. So you can see they're just giving you a little bit of information, but this is something that needs to be put out randomly at different times, and it needs to be done all of the time. So any new drivers coming on, any new shoppers, any new delivery drivers, they know off the bat that there is nothing that Lyft or Uber or Postmates or Instacart or DoorDash or any of these companies are going to do when it comes down to it. So they know and are informed, as well as even veteran drivers who have been out on the road. Because as more and more of these scams get more and more intense and more depth added to them, it could become more confusing, because a lot of times when I make videos on this, it's like, how do you even fall for something like that? Well, unfortunately, it does happen. Most of the time, it's new drivers, new delivery drivers, and new shoppers who aren't really knowing what is going on. But they still can get some veteran drivers out there because, as I said, these things can get more in depth and sound more real even though they aren't. Now, have you ever been contacted by these generated support numbers saying, hey, call us back, or where you received a phone call or anything like that? What happened? Comment below, let me know. Now that's the end of this video. If again, you get any text message or phone call from somebody posing as support for the company or app that you are working for at the time, it's a scam. Don't fall for it. Hang up immediately and report it as quick as possible. And with that being said, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell for notifications so you'll be notified every time a new video is uploaded. Also, make sure to check the description below for other helpful information and tips and different ways you can save and earn money. And as always, never drink and drive. Always tip your drivers, your delivery drivers, and your shoppers. And we'll see you next time.